In this segment, we'll witness Piers Morgan utterly embarrassing himself and revealing his blatant double standards about how he treats deceased individuals from the right compared to those on the left. I want to provide you with a side-by-side comparison of what was said and precisely what Charlie Kirk did too. Let's check out the entire clip.
Service. You felt the need to just live post a lot of crap about him. Did nothing make you think, hang on, let's just let them have the memorial service. Then we can get back into this stuff. It looked to me like you weren't prepared to give Charlie Kirk a beat of humanity.
So I've heard a lot about mercy and love and forgiveness today, except also a desire for vengeance for the left. So let me do something different. And in response to you, Piers, let me actually unify all of us, and let's bring the temperature down. First and foremost, I think every single person on this panel condemns the horrible murder of Charlie Kirk by a 22-year-old white man from a conservative Christian family who was apolitical, according to all the evidence, and was radicalized online, as Tim said, and most likely radicalized because he heard or thought he heard homophobic comments by Charlie Kirk, one of us, as the Republican governor of Utah said. Not a lefty, not Antifa, not
Actually, that's not what the governor said. Sorry, just to be clear. No, just to be clear, the governor, Spencer Cox... Hang on, just to be clear, because I had this debate a couple of days ago. Just to be clear, I went back and checked, and the governor, Spencer Cox, was crystal clear that the investigators so far are working on the belief, from what they've found out, that this kid had been radicalized by a leftist ideology. That was what he said. So when you say there's no suggestion of that, that's not true.
You interrupted all of them. Let me just say my piece, and then I'll lower the temperature. And facts matter. As of just 2 days ago, the FBI sources have said that they find no credible evidence that he was far left. And I'll be fair, no credible evidence that he's far right. This was a man who was radicalized online, 22-year-old white man, not the left. He wasn't transgender. He wasn't Antifa. He wasn't progressives. That's a fact.
You don't know any of that.
Temperature. Let's lower the temperature.
You're not dialing down the temperature. You're
Absolutely. I'm saying
you're removing any accountability for the way that some of the investigation appears to be leading. I think we should wait. But I don't think that when someone puts anti-fascist on the bullet casings, it's a bit of a clue.
Can he answer your question, Piers? You asked him why was he a scumbag yesterday by live tweeting and saying horrendous things on Charlie Kirk's memorial.
That was Carrie.
Yeah,
Carrie,
no,
listen, lying is a sin in Christianity. Carrie, lying is a sin in Christianity. So let me respond. Let me respond.
No, I called you that. And why did you do that yesterday? I also believe in Jesus,
and Jesus doesn't like liars. All right, now let's listen to this real quick. The person who used the word scumbag, and this is where I'm going to say I defended Charlie Kirk because he is a free speech maximalist. In his life, Charlie Kirk used his words to mock the living and the dead. He had every right to. He used the word scumbag to describe George Floyd, who was murdered by a cop. He had every right to. He said MLK was an awful person. He has every right to. He said he was against the Civil Rights Act. He had every right to. Charlie Kirk would also agree with me and other Republicans right now, including Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, other conservatives, or those who are loved by conservatives like Tim Dillon, Ben Shapiro, in that the president of the United States, President Trump, the leader of the country and the leader of MAGA, should not abuse and use his death to do what? Abuse his powers to cancel critics like Jimmy Kimmel. I think Charlie Kirk, in his words, with his life, if we look at what he said, would say, you know what? My critics can debate me, they can mock me. His producer said that Charlie Kirk actually enjoyed South Park criticizing him, and that South
Park... Yeah, but that wasn't my question. And to be fair, hang on, everybody. Hang on, just to be clear with Jahat. Like I said to you at the start, Charlie Kirk, right, would not be the one to complain about this. I was simply asking you that you wanted to tone things down. Do you not think, on a human level, it was just inappropriate? Never mind anything else. It showed a lack of humanity to just be bombarding on your X feed endless trash talk about Charlie Kirk as there was a memorial service to his life.
So what's funny for me is the complete hypocrisy from Piers Morgan, Carrie Lake, and all of these people on the right. Carrie Lake actually walked into this one and pretty much humiliated herself. She used the word scumbag, not understanding that Charlie Kirk himself called George Floyd, a man who was killed by a police officer, a scumbag. Let's roll the tape just so that you guys can see it yourself.
We're going to offer some context and some nuance about the death of George Floyd that no one dares to say out loud, which is that this guy was a scumbag. Now, does that mean it deserves to die? That's two totally different things. Of course not. But we're going to offer some...
Absolutely. Let's clear the air for everyone on the right who might stumble upon this video and start accusing others of ill intentions. Charlie Kirk should not have been killed for his opinions. Let's get that straight. His death over his beliefs was unwarranted. However, for those on the right who continue to shame the left for behaviors identical to those Charlie Kirk exhibited, well, that's hypocrisy at its peak. The glaring absence of self-awareness in these individuals astonishes me. Observing the reaction of right-wing commentators following Charlie Kirk's death has left me utterly perplexed, similar to how my channel, Just the Confused Brit, expresses bewilderment. It's utterly illogical because Charlie Kirk himself partook in the very actions that the right is now condemning the left for engaging in. Charlie Kirk made disparaging remarks about George Floyd, criticized Martin Luther King, and voiced negative opinions about Breonna Taylor, who was also a victim of law enforcement actions. So why are figures like Piers Morgan, Carrie Lake, and various others on the right all tied up, getting upset and infuriated when someone exercises their constitutional right to free speech by critiquing or speaking ill of Charlie Kirk? There should be no issue with this whatsoever. If these individuals were truly committed to honoring Charlie Kirk's legacy, they wouldn't be chastising people for exercising their freedom of expression. If Charlie Kirk was indeed genuine about his purported belief that people should be free to criticize living or dead without fear of being canceled, then this current uproar is misplaced. He himself spoke out and shared his views. I bet if I checked Piers Morgan's Twitter, I wouldn't find him denouncing or lambasting Charlie Kirk for labeling George Floyd a scumbag. The hypocrisy and lack of self-awareness on the right at the moment is so prevalent it leaves me in disbelief. It's mind-boggling to witness. Please share your thoughts about this clip in the comments below. While you're at it, do me a huge favor by liking this video and hitting the subscribe button. We're inching closer to 70,000 subscribers. Your support means the world to me. Thank you so much. Let's do our best and get this channel to 70,000 subscribers as soon as possible. I appreciate you all, and see you in the next video.